Welcome to Start Before You're Ready, the podcast that proves that you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin your journey towards better health and happiness. I'm your host, Kelly Young. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but it's always worth taking. Hey guys, it's Kelly, and I'm back with an episode of Start Before You're Ready. I know that you are going to enjoy. I am here with my teammate, Ted Moore. Ted started as a student with KBC in, we think, 2018. His wife, Kathy, actually came to us through one of the teacher programs that we were doing. And I think she's like, hey, Ted, I think you kind of like this Bootcamp. And he was probably like, no, I probably wouldn't, like most of the guys. And then he came to a Saturday Bootcamp. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he fit right in, obviously very athletic, and liked the idea of group fitness because he's got that team-minded attitude, and he loved it. And here we are a lot of years later. Let's do the math. 8 years later, and he is now part of the KBC team. We're going to talk about that. But before I do that, Ted, I want you to have an opportunity to introduce yourself to the Start Before You're Ready community.
All right. I'm Ted Moore. I'm a local yokel, so I was born here in Northern Virginia. Got 3 kids. One's in California, one's in New York City, and the other is at George Mason in Fairfax. Been married to Kathy for 26 years.
And you guys dated in high school. And you didn't date in high school. You did, but then you broke up, right? Tell the story.
We started dating right after we graduated. So we've been together, it'll be 41 years, I think, in July. Yeah. So Kathy, like you said, Kathy was doing workouts with you. She had actually learned about you through Ginger. And so she's like you said, she was like, yeah, come and try this out. So I went up there, and it was the lot where Ford's Fish Shack is now. And what I really liked is it was always different. And like when I was there, I was new. Like Mike Austin came over and introduced himself. Jody came over and introduced herself. And then you also made us get into like groups of 4, introduce ourselves, learn a little bit about ourselves, like when we were running around the parking lot, which I thought was fantastic. And then so eventually I went from a Saturday boot camper probably for a couple months, and then I finally bid it and joined and started coming to all the classes. I really liked it. I mean, it was interesting because there wasn't a whole lot of guys. Like you got to be humble because there's going to be women there that are just as strong as you, doing more push-ups than you. A lot of guys can't handle that, but if you keep at it and persevere, you'll be able to catch up. It's like Heather McDade said, what did she call them? Bottom rack girls, the girls that get the dumbbells from the bottom rack.
Oh, bottom rack girls. That was a great line. I don't know how we haven't put that on a shirt.
Yeah, because I mean, it was funny because there's girls using 35s, 45s, and it's like if you as a man come in and you're like only using 20s and you have an issue with it.
You can't have an issue with it. Because that's what Andrew, we'll be like carrying something. I'll be like, I need a break. And he's like, you lift, your weights are heavier than mine. I'm like, yeah, but that's endurance. I'm not strong. I can do that for a long time. I have got good endurance, but it's just men and women are different like that. And men require more rest so it is interesting, but you caught up pretty quick. Let's say that as far as weights and that kind of thing, you definitely are one of our strongest dudes. I forgot what class it was, like a dude camp. And what were you? You're farmer carrying 75s or 100s?
The hundreds, yeah.
That's what I thought. Jen Larmer gave those to me during the pandemic. I'm like, no one is ever going to be able to lift these, Jen. I'm like, I don't want them. I don't have room for them. I don't want them. But sure enough, remember looking at your arms like bursting. All right, let's go back. Okay, so you started with the weekday classes. And where were you with your health when you started? What was your workout program before you came to KBC?
So I had done a lot of different things. Like I think Bob Kehoe, when he was on, talked about training for the marathon. He and I did the Marine Corps Marathon with Bob's wife, Kim, and a few other friends. So that was probably 15 years ago. So I've always and I played, after college, I played a lot of competitive adult softball, like men's softball, and actually co-ed softball as well. So then once the kids got to a certain age, stopped playing that. And then Kathy and I did P90X, and that went really well. But but like trying to run through it again, like the second time it became stale. Right?
I remember you told me that. And I also think that one of the reasons why you liked our workout so much when you first started is they're very P90X-ish. When I saw Tony's workouts when he first came out, I was like, mad. I was like, that's how I train. That's how I do my classes. And like, here this guy is blowing up, changing the world with this workout program that I'm like, I feel like I've been doing this, but great. I mean, great. You know, there's plenty of workout programs for all of us. But yes, I see why it makes sense. Somebody that liked P90X, I think would like our programming. That actually makes a lot of sense. And I think P90X is phenomenal especially with the recovery days that he was ahead of his time in that regard. He had a lot going on in his programming that was very, I do appreciate. And look at him now. I don't know if you follow him, but I still follow him, and he looks incredible. In his late 60s, I think he might even be 70. He's late 60s for sure. He looks really good. Okay, so you were doing P90X and you were doing marathons. So you've always had your foot in the door of fitness. Obviously, marathons, P90X, those are pretty hardcore fitness. And you were a football player.
In high school, I was, yeah. And I played baseball and I ran track. I did all those in high school, yeah.
Okay, so you were a 3-sport athlete. That makes a lot of sense. You're very diverse. You're very jack of all trades in your fitness, so that makes a lot of sense. Baseball, track, and football. And then you coached football, or you trained players after.
So when I was in college, I worked for the University of South Carolina as a student strength coach. Yeah, and because I really always liked being around fitness and being involved in that type of stuff, but I didn't think it would be I always knew computers would be the wave of the future. Like, this is late 80s, late 80s, and I was like, computers are the way to go. I'll always be able to find a job. So I did enjoy the PE, the physical activity and the training and all that, but I ended up working in computers. And then after I graduated from college, I coached a couple of years at Woodson High School. I coached football for my old coach, and I loved it. And then I ended up I changed jobs. My new job didn't have flexibility, so then I had to give that up. And then I coached a little bit of women's lacrosse when my younger daughter was in middle school. And I coached some football and baseball when Jarrett played those youth league sports. So yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And I figured I would, with coaching anything, I'm always super nervous and hesitant before it starts. But once it starts and things get going and I get comfortable, I really thoroughly enjoy it. And it's like with working for you, I was super nervous, I didn't really sleep well the night before my first class and those kinds of things, right? But once,
which is so ironic because your students were probably nervous coming in, and here you are nervous. That's the irony of it. We all just that's the irony of it. They're thinking like, oh my God, I'm taking Ted's class. And you're like, oh my God, they're taking my class.
Well, it's funny because when Jenny Greenfield was on, she was talking about being nervous, and she talked about how you just try to do your best to provide the best workout. And that kind of made me not so nervous, a little bit more settled. But I was still nervous.
Of course. And if you're not nervous, then you don't care. So being nervous is good. I used to say right before Saturday boot camp, for longer than I want to admit, I'd get this little pit in my stomach, nauseous, I was going to throw up, every time. I was like, when is this going to stop? I'm not nervous. But there would always be a new person or someone I felt like I needed to do a good job for. I always wanted to do a good job. My mind is, they're waking up on a Saturday morning to come out here. I don't want to disappoint these people. So yeah, I think that it's good to have that feeling of responsibility to make it the best experience you can. We all know we can screw up and people are still going to like us. In fact, sometimes I think they like us more when we screw up. That's what I tell myself anyway, Ted. But okay, so let's talk about you becoming an instructor, because this is all very, very recent. And what kind of happened in my mind is you became kind of a leader for the guys, where we started Dude Camp. You were one of the original Dude Campers when we started Dude Camp in 2020 or 2021. And you always came, and you could tell that really resonated with you, that energy of being around the guys. And back when we first started Dude Camp, we had a lot of like different text groups, and I wanted the guys to talk without me too. Like I didn't want to be in their text group, although I don't think they're going to say what they're going to say if I'm on the group or not, but whatever. But so I wanted I wanted you guys to kind of have your own communication. So I would ask you, hey, Ted, text the guys, or, that kind of thing. And that was kind of where I think your leadership started, just with the guys. It was very natural, very organic. It was just your personality. You brought us Bob, who brought us Scott, who, Bob is obviously, adore Bob, and he's been such a great addition to the community. And I remember when you brought him, I was like, why? You've had this guy and I'm just meeting him now. I was like yelling at you. You're like, okay, Kelly, I brought him. I'm like, right. Where's he been?
Right. Well, it's funny because we were at a neighborhood party and he was talking about, I need to do something to get in shape. So I was like, look, come to my workout and see what you think. Like, come to KBC, see what you think. And so he came and he loved it.
Yeah. He did. He loved the first class. He's like, I love this. I'm like, okay. If I was a big guy, you kind of wouldn't know. Like, it might not be for him, but another lineman. Okay. So we talked recently. So I think it was like, you were like, we had you kind of pseudo sub dude camp. And I was like, you got to be certified. I can't have. And then you were like, well, what do you think of, I don't know if that's how it went, but something like, what do you think of being certified? And I was like, are you doing this because this is something that you have on your heart to do and that you've always wanted to do? Are you doing this because you want to help me out? Because it's a big deal to get certified. I think people think it's like, you'll go take a test, but it's like a lot of coursework. It's a lot. It's expensive. It's a big financial investment, and it's not easy, especially the test you took. You took one of the premier nationally recognized tests, full-time job. You have 3 kids. I mean, even though your 2 I guess they're all out of the house in some way, but still, I mean, you have a lot of responsibilities and you have your own workouts. And I always worry about, this is one thing that is always a concern for me. And you obviously it's not going to be a problem for you. But when somebody becomes an instructor, I'm always worried that they're not going to have the feeling of being a student anymore. And I think that it is important that they still have like their own workouts and they still have their own program. And that has not been a problem at all. So yeah. And you're like, no, Kelly, this is something I'm thinking ahead. This is something I might want to do down the road. And yeah. And you did it. You did every single thing you said you were going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I was truly looking for something to do once I'm done in my current profession, which hopefully will be in a couple of years. I'll be done working because when Kathy retires, I'm going to retire. But then I'll probably try to teach more, maybe do a little more personal training, whatever. But I definitely wanted to find something to keep myself occupied with, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's such a great, and let's talk about your own fitness journey since you've been with us, Ted, because I think everyone in KBC would agree that you've had a really, really remarkable journey and you've really taken your fitness to the next level, in my opinion. You're incredibly, not only strong, as we mentioned earlier, but you've great rhythm. You could step. You can do it all. I mean, you're really like, your mobility is excellent. It is remarkable. And I think it's a testament to your open-mindedness, the fact that you're willing to do different work, any workout you do pretty much every week. You're in, if you don't have a work commitment, you're in Core and Restore, which is like a foam rolling class. I've seen you in Yen before. So yeah, talk about your fitness journey. Just you since joining KBC in 2018, what you've noticed and how you've progressed.
So when I first started, I would fluctuate between like 202 to 206 pounds. My back would bother me, shoulders would bother me. And so as I was able to like get down into the mid 190s relatively quickly, I'd say a year or so. But my body fat would hang in the low 20s, somewhere between like 22 and 24. And I just kept plugging away. Like I would try to go a little heavier on my weights, run a little bit harder when we did running stuff or any kind of jumping stuff. I would try to jump a little bit further. And mobility stuff, I just try to get like a little bit further into my mobility. Like I took one of Amy's classes for like learning how to watch what you eat. And like that was a huge help. Like, you don't realize, like, I think what really did it for me, like what this last year, I've finally gotten under 20% and my numbers are close to where I want them. I'd like to, ideally,
yeah, your numbers are excellent, Ted. I'm thrilled with your numbers.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd weigh 185 pounds, but I'm not sure if I'll ever get there.
You're not willing to sacrifice food that much. You can keep your body fat. I tell guys, get your body fat under 20. I don't care what you weigh. Get your body fat under 20, as long as you're not. I mean, if your body fat's under 20, you got enough muscle that.
Yeah. And I mean, what really I think what like finally made me realize, like, and what clicked for me was I stopped snacking at night. Like, I'll eat. If there's too much food on my plate, I won't eat at all. I used to be like, I don't want to throw things away. If there's leftovers, I'll make sure they get eaten, even if it, like, you know, Kathy would be like, hey, that needs to be thrown out tomorrow. And it might be 2 meals worth of food. And I would shovel it down because I don't like to waste food. But I've gotten to the point where I kind of know my portion sizes. And we've had it, like Kathy and I have had to adjust because we went from 5 kids, you know, 5 of us in the house. She would cook meals for 5 of us. Now it's just 2 of us. And so she's had to, like, control portions, like shrink our meals down so we don't have 3 days worth of meals.
Right. There's always the freezer. I like to remind myself that, because if you cooked food, if you freeze it and you just label and say what it is and put it in the side, I like to put it in the side container. You're so grateful, and then you pull it out. You don't have to force it down. Certain things don't freeze well, but yes. Okay, good. So eliminating snacking at night, you think, is what really did it for you. So this winter, so Ted has done a lot of our programs. He has participated in the DW at least 1 year, I think 2, or what, just 1?
It might have been 2. I can't remember. I know it was last year, and I think it was the year before as well.
Yeah. So he's been chasing this, and I knew he could do it. And I remember, and even your son, you guys would both come together and do the Embody. And I remember talking to him, and you were slow, I think, to really believe how much the protein made a difference. Like getting that actual amount, whatever your lean body mass was like 170. What's your lean body mass?
I think that's about right.
Yeah. So you were slow to be like, but then once you did, you were like, oh, okay, that works, right? This is everybody. This isn't just you, Ted. You're like, okay, now the numbers are starting to move. And then I do agree with you. I think it was, this winter challenge. So you were a part of the winning winter challenge team. Your team absolutely crushed body comp. I mean, it was like no comparison. I mean, you guys blew it away. And you were the only guy. So they can't say it's because they had guys. You were the only guy. Lean guy really helps. But yeah, so what is, that's when you decided to give up the snacking at night, was during the winter challenge?
Yeah. Like I tracked my food with MyFitnessPal, and then a little bit of portion control size, because like when you're not tracking it, you don't realize how much you eat. And especially if you throw in, say, 300 calories of a snack, that's a big difference, you know. It's like 500 calorie deficit is a pound a week, right? 500 calories a day is a pound a week.
A day, yeah, a day. That's the part. A day. You need 500 calories less every single day if you want to lose 1 pound.
And then I also think, like, because I started teaching, so I was on my feet more, like my NEAT, you know, non-exercise activity, like that increased. And then, like, as a team, like, we would go in on Sundays and lift weights. And like, I think that extra, like, it was like old school strength, right? You know, you lift heavier weights, you take 2 minutes or so to rest, and then you lift heavier weights. And so I think that helped a lot of my teammates.
Yeah. Well, it's something different. Whenever you change up your routine, your body responds. Those people are used to working out in a different way. And yeah, of course that's going to work, especially when you're dialed. You can't that's not going to solve any problems if you're not dialed into your nutrition, right? So you have that combination of really thoughtful workouts and dialed into your nutrition. I think that was a huge contributor, and extra steps makes a huge difference. I used to say people don't recognize that. People get that now. People get that they need to move more throughout the day. I mean, I don't care how much exercise you're doing. If you're getting 2,000 steps a day, it's going to be very hard to manage your weight because you're just too inactive. You're just not burning enough calories. So that's good. When you were doing My Fitness Pal, what was your goal for calories?
It was like 1,800 or 2,200. I can't remember what it was, because I think the InBody said my base rate is like 1,900. So it might have been 23. It might have been 2,300. I forget, because Kathy was telling me that
1,800 is probably what Kathy was eating to lose weight. She also looks amazing, by the way. She's really transformed her body since she started with us. She looks incredible.
Yeah,
she really does. Both of you are like fitness miles. I said that to Andrew. I'm like, they would take us, Andrew. Kathy and Ted would take us. Even with your new hip, I think they would take us. They are very fit. You two together.
I'm scared of Andrew. I'm scared of what Andrew's going to be able to do now with a good hip. Actually, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited because he busts his ass with all that hip pain, and I'm like, geez, I can't imagine the guy, how hard he's going to work without hip pain.
Yeah, I think he's excited about being able to pick stuff up off the floor. We're not even 2 workouts yet, but he's just excited. He's like, I wasn't able to do this before. I'm like, I am well aware that you were not able to pick something off the floor for 5 years. So it's gonna be really nice. Okay, so you have trained yourself and you've gotten in, I dare to say, the best shape of your life. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Or would you? You did some other stuff years ago.
I was a bodybuilder in college.
Okay.
But that's a different conditioning.
Yeah, but you put on a lot of muscle when you do that, and muscle's harder to lose. So any time you're putting on muscle, even if it's for a short period of time, it stays with you. I mean, that's why men tend to lose. People get so mad at men because they lose weight so much easier. But 2 things: men tend to be less likely to diet. They tend not to be on a calorie restriction where they're losing their muscle like women do. Women try to lose weight and then they go on too much of a deficit and then they lose their muscle. Men don't do that because they don't diet as much as women do. And also just your activity through life. I mean, being a 3-sport athlete in high school, doing the run. I mean, you've done a lot of different things. So that stays with you. And what I tell the guys is, I made that statement earlier, like, get your body fat under 20. We have a lot of guys that are never going to get their body fat under 20. They're never going to get close to that. I mean, some of them aren't going to get it under 30, but who cares? Just keep trying to move your body fat in the right direction, right? So if you're losing weight, make sure, even if a bigger guy loses a lot of weight, as long as their body fat doesn't move in the wrong direction, I don't care if they lost some skeletal muscle mass, because they're going to, right? We're going to see the skeletal muscle mass go down if a bigger guy loses a lot of weight, or especially one of our guys, someone that's working out. So, okay. So now let's talk about you as a trainer.
I love it. I think it takes me a little bit longer to create workouts. As always, you can improve, but I enjoy seeing people work hard. I enjoy at the end of class, they look like they're exhausted, like they worked really hard, and they seem to be enjoying it. So yeah, it's been a nice challenge and a nice change.
I think it's been a wonderful change for our community. It's nice to just have a fresh perspective, right? It's like everything everything you know from your sports days, everything you know from your bodybuilding days, everything you know from your trainer days, everything you know from P90X, student at KBC, and that becomes your signature style, which I love. I love that in our community. I don't ask people to train a certain way because I think that there's no right way. I truly believe that. And people will gravitate towards styles that speak to them, or they'll say to me, I really like Ted because it's different, right? It doesn't feel like Amy, or it doesn't feel like Kelly, which is great. We love that. And we love that for our members. And just like you said in the beginning, what you liked about KBC the most was every workout was different. Some chains and organizations, they have to be very specific in their protocol because they're trying to scale their business. And we don't think that way. We're thinking we want to make our members as happy as possible, right? We want that. And that's the feedback we get constantly as I don't get sick of it. And the proof that that is an effective way is first of all, if you look at our members, they look pretty good. Those that have been around a while look like they are doing something right for certain. And the fact that they stay. The only time people leave is when they move. I can count on one hand how many people have left to go to another workout. And usually it's because it's like a family membership. It's like something financial. It's not because they're not happy with our workouts. It's something else. So, okay. So what's your favorite thing about being a trainer?
I guess just getting positive feedback from the people that have taken my classes. Having them say, oh, that was a really good class. The other day, I substituted for somebody, and I think it was just a circuit class. So I did a strength station and then a cardio station. And the warm-up was, it was probably 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. And then for the cool down, we stretched for probably about 8 minutes. The next, at the end of class, I'm always let me know if there's something that you didn't like, etc. So the next day, and she was like, hey, I loved that class yesterday. And what was interesting is I was watching people's heart rates, and some of them would get into the blue, get into the green, and then drop down to the gray. And I'm I'm not pushing, I haven't made this workout hard enough. But then when she came up, she's it was perfect. She was the warm-up was good. The stretching was good. She's she really needs a stretching right after a hip replacement.
2 hips, and she's back with us. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I know.
Incredible.
I know.
You would never know it, too.
I know.
She's I had to modify. I'm what? What did you modify? I didn't. I want her to modify, but I would never in a million. If you said, pick the person out in this class that had two new hips, I would be not that chick. She's.
No, exactly.
So, okay. So you have really stepped up to help us, Ted, by the way. And of course, most recently being Man Down with Meg, and just you are able to help in the morning, and it's been great. What is your favorite class to teach? What would you say?
I think I liked my small group strength class. Yeah. I do enjoy doing the Friday circuit class, but I think I really like the small group strength class.
Well, what's nice about the small group, and this is one thing that I try to encourage our members, if they have it in their budget, to get into one of our small groups, even if it's just for a session, just to mix something up. You know them. You get to know Julie and how much Julie lifts and what she struggles with and what leg is offset, and what you get to see her and train her. And there's a difference between that and group fitness. I'm never going to try to say that. As hard as we try to have that personal experience for every one of our members in a group class, we can't. Right? It's impossible.
No, you can't. It's
impossible.
Yeah.
So there is a big difference. Maybe the workouts might look, we do that in strength. Well, yeah, but you don't have a trainer standing in front of you. I'll never forget. I was on vacation once, and it was the stupidest workout. It was so stupid. And it was slow, and I was but it was me and another girl, and it was at a resort or whatever, and the guy that was in there, I was so sorry. Because that dude was watching me the whole time. I felt like I had to do everything perfect. And I was so much stricter, even though I always think I'm trying to do. But it makes a difference to have eyes on you is all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
It absolutely makes a difference. And it does make a difference for weight, because you can get 20 different sets of weights out, or you can help them load or help them. It makes a difference. So talk up your small group strength, Ted. So when's the next session going to start?
I needed to talk to you about that sometime in May.
Okay, well, let's talk about it now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking the first week in May, and then run it through. Yeah, this session ends next week because I was gone on a Tuesday and gone on a Thursday. So I told everybody I would extend it a week longer, which is next week. So what I was thinking is I would do the first week of May and run it through the middle of June, and then so that way come mid-June, teachers, like I think I might be able to get more teachers to come to the 8:15 in the morning Tuesday class, because that class is a struggle.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk about it. So Nicole is actually going to do Empower Her on Tuesday and Thursday at 8:15 in the summer. And we can give a little plug for that. But we have plenty of other time slots for you. But you can run it in May through the middle of June. And because she can even wait. So you can run your Tuesday session, and then we'll figure out another time slot, because I absolutely positively think that you're right. And the other nice thing, in case anybody's listening to this, you can and you don't have to be a member to do our small groups. So if you just are looking for like a 2-day-a-week strength training program, and you maybe are doing other stuff on your own and you don't want to be a member, you can do that. And we have Ted's program and Julie's Monday night program, and Amy's got her 2 level ups. She's going to continue those through the summer as well. So we'll definitely give you all the opportunity that you want to do small group, because it really makes a difference. I just had a new girl come to my class this week, and right away, I was like, have you worked with a trainer? And she's like, yes. I'm like, I can tell. Everything she did, you could just tell. Like, again, in group fitness, we get them there. But it takes a little bit longer, right? Because it's like you notice that they're doing certain things, but you don't want it in the middle of class be like over and over again correcting them. So it's definitely helpful. Okay, let's do a little rapid fire. I need you to talk more, Ted. I'm taking up my 95% like Andrew says I like to do. Okay, what's your favorite thing about KBC?
The community. And like, I like Dude Camp is awesome. Like, I've made friends through Dude Camp that, like, because even the, like, Mo and those guys that have been members, if you don't work out at the same time, you don't get to know them, right? So the fact that once you started Dude Camp, that was awesome. So, and you get, like, when we pair up, you kind of can, although we don't have a lot of time to talk, but we do talk some. So I've really liked it. And like you had mentioned before, we get together afterwards and go to Starbucks and hang out and just talk about different things. And we also, I think what has happened is now, I think that the guys realize that, hey, maybe somebody else has been through this, right? Like, I'm going through this, or I'm going through that. Maybe somebody else. Like, it's interesting because, anxiety runs in our family on my dad's side. And so my brother has it. And so he was talking to, when we were young, I don't know if we were he might have been a late teenager, early 20s, and he was talking to one of my aunts about it, because my dad is one of 8, and it's 6. My dad had 6 sisters and 1 brother. My brother was talking to one of the aunts, and she said, yeah, she's like, the women, they talk themselves through it. Like, they don't need, and she's like, and the guys drink themselves through it. And so that, I think, having outlets, dudes having outlets, when, and even if it's a one-off, hey, Mo, I need to talk to you about this, or hey, Bob, or hey, Scott, you've gone through this or whatnot. I think it really is helpful. And hopefully the guys hopefully people are taking advantage of it. Right. Yeah,
no, I love that. Okay. That's so good. Yes, I totally agree.
And we've totally grown, the number of dudes has grown. Right.
Yeah. We're a little short now. I need to recruit. I need to when I put my energy there, I can get guys there, but they take energy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's text. And I'm begging you guys to come, but I'll put some energy into it. I was actually just thinking that I need to put some more energy into Dude Camp, because it is so great when we got a new guy that sticks with it and enjoys it and gets the benefit of it in so many ways. Okay. What's your favorite exercise?
I like squats. Yeah.
Interesting. Most guys are more chest. Okay.
Squats, or push, a squat press or something along those lines. Actually, what's it, a devil's press, where you do a burpee and then you do a snatch from the ground up above your head. That's a good one.
Super metabolic. Yeah. It takes every muscle in your body.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. What about your least favorite exercise?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't like doing curls. I've never... Even when I was
You're not a normal dude.
Even when I was a bodybuilder, I didn't
Yeah. I used to never do biceps too. I was the same. Like, I think this is a waste. We get this and push it. We get this and all the other bigger moves that we do. We don't need to do this, but then people like it. And sometimes if you like, I'll do like a 30-second set. Like sometimes if you really do get through everything and then you do like biceps and triceps in the end, it burns. You get a nice little burner and it's a nice little finisher. And for some people, they're not go, go, go. So they kind of want that break. They want that single joint exercise where they're not like having to put so much energy into it. But yeah, it's funny. I used to joke. I'm like, I don't do bicep curls. Like, and I had these big arms. Everyone was like, what do you do? I'm like, I've never done that. And for so long, I didn't do them. Also because we were at the lot for so long and we only had one set of weights and I couldn't really curl 35s more than couple times. So yeah.
Well, you know what exercise makes me really sore is the TRX tricep extensions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you did those.
Your triceps or your core or everything?
Triceps.
Shoulders, rear delts.
I don't know if I guess it's the full range of motion, but anytime we've done that, it literally takes 3 days. Like I'll feel it. If we do it on a Sunday at Bootcamp, I'll feel it on Wednesday. And it's like, good God.
That's a good one. Yeah. No, it's because you're full. It's also because you do it straight. So you're literally using this little muscle to lift your whole body, which is hard. So that's a good one. Okay. What would you say? Last question. Okay. Well, I have two more questions. One more question after the last question. What would you say to somebody that is struggling with their mindset and just finding the mental strength to start a workout program?
I mean, if there's somebody that they look up to, I guess, or like, hey, that person busts their ass, like ask how they motivate themselves. Like try to find your motivation because sometimes it can definitely be a struggle and you don't want to go work out and sometimes you don't want to do anything. It's like just get yourself there and then start, right? Like even if you go through the workout half effort, you're still getting the workout in, right? You'll feel accomplished. Like you leave and you're like, hey, I didn't really want to come. I walked out of here feeling a lot better.
I love that. And that was what was so great about your small group strength. And Ted, I just want to compliment you because, I've worked with a lot of people over the years and you only had a couple of people for that one morning Tuesday small group strength because we had just kind of started in this time slot we have not really utilized. And you're like, I'll do it anyway. And I was like, I like that because that's how you grow. I taught for one person a lot of years, forget months. And I did it with a smile because I was like, this is how they're going to go tell one person and then I'll get another person. And that's how you grow. People that start teaching and expect like 20 people in the room. Whoa, no, you gotta grow your people. You gotta make them want to come back. So that was great. And you brought 2 new people into our studio, which is such a gift. And I'm so grateful for that and made them comfortable and got to experience that with them. So I know that was really good.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like Chris is one of the Tuesday morning guys and he was talking about, he's been golfing a lot lately and his golf buddies are like, dude, you're hitting the piss out of the ball. Like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm lifting weights. And I was like, hey, Chris, they don't have to be members. Yep. They can come.
Yep.
Like, if you want to let them know, they can come try out.
Ted, sell it, buddy.
Yeah, I actually, how about that?
I like it. I like it. I need a salesperson.
Because,
I'm hiring myself. I'm the worst salesperson in the world. But, okay. And last question is, what is a time in your life when you started before you were ready?
Oh, doing this podcast, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not... This is not
your thing?
No, I'm not. Like Bob Kehoe says, I'm not a self-promoter. I'm not like you have to pry to get information out of me. You have to pry it out.
What's your birth order of the 8 children?
Oh, I'm only one of 3. My dad was one of 8. I'm the 3rd.
Oh, your dad was one of 8. Okay,
I'm the baby.
Okay.
I'm the baby. And I think I fit, listening to the stereotypes of the baby kid, I think I kind of fit that. I don't know. So one funny thing I'll tell you about myself, since Bob says I don't share, I'll share this. So you can tell how somebody knows me by my nickname or what they call me. Like, so Meg Phillips calls me Teddy, right? Because she knows her from high school. And like my college buddies call me Teddy. And some coworkers, when I was younger in my 20s, would call me Teddy. And then, like, when I played softball, competitive softball for like 15 years, those guys had all kinds of nicknames. So one of them was T Naked. And what we used to do is every once in a while we would go out and we would have a few mini-two drinks, and our coach would be at home at the hotel in his room, and we would all just bang in the room, and we'd all be naked, and we'd just go running in and jumping on him. And like,
on your coach?
Yeah. Oh, he was our age. He was a guy that was our age that just didn't. He'd play sometimes, but didn't. Yeah. So one time we were in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we were staying at this hotel, and our old coach used to drive a rodeo. So there's a rodeo going by in the parking lot, and we're all standing around naked, and we're getting ready to run up to the room where our coach is. But one of my buddies sees the rodeo, and he's like, "There he is!" And he starts running at it, and I'm like hiding behind the stairs because I'm like, "That's not him." So the guy that's in the rodeo is an off-duty police officer that's working as security for the hotel, and he's like, "Buddy, where are your clothes?" And my buddy's like, "Oh, you're not Bundy."
Oh my God. Okay.
So he's like, "Go back to your room, please."
That is definitely going, you're definitely going to take some slack for this, Ted. I'm sure the guys probably already know, but it actually cracks me up because I literally was driving home and thinking to myself, the best parts of the podcast are always in the end. Like that, I was like kind of going through this whole like you always get your best little nuggets in the end. So always listen to the end. Who's ever still listening to this, good job. You got to listen to the end for the good stuff. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ted, for being on. And
thank you, Kel.
Do our team pictures. And thank you for everything you do for the KBC community, everything you've done for me over the years. You've been a tremendous help and just always a leader. And it's just been really fun to see you get in amazing shape and now help other people do the same. I love it.
Yeah. And on a serious note, your community is incredible. Like the community.
Our community.
I can say I'll say ours now, but
I can't have a community.
Yeah.
You need a community to have a community. So it's our community. Awesome. Okay. Thanks so much, Ted. This was great.
Thanks, Kel.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Start Before You're Ready. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend who might need a little motivation. Ready to start your own journey? Check out our workouts and nutrition coaching programs at kellysbootcamp.net. You can choose from in-person sessions or virtual programs. Set up a complimentary coaching session to get started. Follow along with me and the show on social media at Kellys_Bootcamp. Until next time, this is Kelly Young reminding you that the best time to start is always now.